Our first guests today, Laurel, Emily, and Rita, are about 1/5 of the musical group Minuscule. If you do the math, that means there are about 15 members, but Laurel, it changes pretty much every performance.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had a show where all of the members have been present on stage at once. It just kind of fluctuates based on who's available, and yeah, it's pretty big. It's pretty big.
Let me set the stage for our viewers, because I was at a house concert where Minuscule was scheduled to play. I'm sitting on the stairs. Laurel's there in front of the microphone. She has her ukulele. She starts playing, and then all of a sudden, above me in the balcony of this house, angelic voices, at least 10 of them. It was an incredible experience. And Emily, you were there as part of the choir.
It was
for
one
that
of my
performance.
first shows for Minuscule, actually.
How did you become a part of this?
Well, I feel like so honored to be part of the group, but out of the blue one day, and I've seen Minuscule, I had seen Minuscule and just thought they were like the coolest group ever. Laurel is hands down a musical genius for sure. So I never thought I'd be part of it. It was more just like, oh my God, I can't believe I know these people. And then out of the blue, she sent me a message and said, would you be interested in joining? And I was like, that's not even a question, of course. So I kind of jumped right in. And I think the first show I did with you guys was I was showing up to a rehearsal before the show. It was my first kind of rehearsal. She sends us tracks, so we listen to our individual parts. And then when the show was about to happen, she said, why don't you just stay and perform for the show? So the show that you saw, I think, was like my second show performing with them.
And Rita, you were also there that night at that house concert.
Yes. I believe I joined about a year prior. For me, how I got into Minuscule, it was somewhat synchronistic. I was a little bit depleted in writing my own sad songs, and I had put kind of an intention, a wish out there for a new creative project. I took a nap, and no sooner, I woke up to a little Facebook bobblehead from my friend Sarah, who's an opera singer who is in Minuscule, and she said, would you like to join a choir?
Fine.
And it was just one of those moments where happenstance, and it was life, like guiding me, really.
Laurel,
Yeah.
you've really brought together so many, varied voices, different voices throughout the Niagara community, all different ages as well. Yeah. How did you come up with this concept?
I am not proficient enough on any instrument to actually tangibly sketch out my ideas. So I started just like taking a mic and using GarageBand and being like, how does this record that over top of
so
this?
You would
with
layer
this?
it.
I would layer it,
overdub.
and then I saw the opportunity for like, okay, I could just not replace these lines with instruments and keep them as voices. Also, I could add lyrics. Also, now there is a conversation that could happen between these two parts of, whoa, I need to find people to do this. So originally, unless I have a deadline, I don't do things. So I applied to In the Soil Fest, downtown St. Catharines, 2018, with 2 half-completed songs. And I said, let's see if they care about this. And they're like, cool, you're in. I'm like, oh no, I need to write a whole set worth of stuff and find people to do this in real life. So in high school, I was part of a barbershop group called the Bobby Pins. I reached out to all of those, a bunch of those women, three sisters, the Miller sisters, Jill Smith as well, like a handful of them that I'm like, hey, haven't talked to you in a while. You want to do this weird thing? And they're like, yes. So my mom, my sister, both skilled singers, was raised just kind of singing harmony around the house. So I compiled people in my circle that I knew were capable of what I needed them to do, learning by ear, and then started reaching out into the community of like, I need some lower voices, I need some higher voices. People started coming out of the woodwork of like, I don't really know what you're suggesting, but it sounds kind of cool. And then we did In the Soil, it went really well. People started approaching me at that point, like Sarah, after shows of like, what is this? Can I do this? Is this like available for people to join? And we just started adding members. We've since had to put a cap on that because we can't really fit on stages
Right.
anymore.
Right.
If we're playing performing arts centers all the time, then sure, there's a ton of space, but often we're not, and it's getting a little cramped. So we've just got a rotating cast of people, some of which are seasoned pros that have their own solo projects.
And that's these two right here,
exactly
right?
why this tour came to be, because I applied to about 50 festivals all over Canada, from the West Coast to Newfoundland, and we heard back from one, and it's Red Rock. And I said, how can we make this work?
So on this trip, let me get this straight, Emily, you're going to open the show with Electric Wildlife.
That's
you
right.
and Nathaniel Gould.
Right. Yep.
And then from there, Rita, you and the Daydreamers, whatever version of the Daydreamers are on tour
Yeah,
with you.
so Nathaniel Gould, who is Emily's partner and Electric
Bandmate.
Wildlife bandmate, he's also my drummer. So we're gonna start jamming out the songs. That's kind of how the Daydreamers formed anyway, and then people just joined, and then other members are gonna join in the next couple of weeks before we go.
And then
Yeah.
Minuscule takes the stage with you two on it as well.
And
Right.
Nate's gonna play bass for that. My partner plays drums. We just kind of like morph based on who is there. Tara Stan Slick plays keys. She's gonna hop on keys for Rita.
And
like
emulate the violin part.
it's just
Yeah.
we're just kind of, when Rita and I started initially talking about it, I said I knew that she had an album in the works with Joe Lipinski of WoW Studios. I said, is that going to be ready in time? Do you want to take it up north? And can we share players? Who would the makeup of players be that would best suit both of our bands? And from that, we kind of assessed the parts that we needed to be present, who plays what instruments, who can do sort of double duty, and ended up with 10 people that are gonna just mishmash across all of the bands.
Laurel, Emily, Rita, thank you so much for coming here today. I know you've got the 4 dates up north: Sault Ste. Marie, Red Rock, Thunder Bay, and North Bay, and then you're back Niagara-on-the-Lake August 23rd for a homecoming show. We can't wait to see you. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Thanks.
you.